Well, we're back at it for round 2 on the Lemans trunk pan. So I am just kind of getting this second half of the floor fit in. There was a big long lip that stuck out here. I just kind of trimmed it up, gave me enough to get some spot welds in there. And I'll get it fit in, and then I kind of just did a rough form on this piece, and I got it to where it'll fit in the fender, right? Something like that. And it'll crown that. And I just beat this over some metal. This little metal chunk and that hammer is what I just kind of formed this out with. And I mean, I'll smooth it all up and stuff and clean it up, but I'm just kind of roughing out, getting the shape. This is fitting pretty decent. But yeah, this will be the little filler that when this pan, it doesn't fit tight, so I can pretty much lay this in here and get that curve that I want and fill that. I don't know, it was almost a 3/4 inch gap up through here. So this hopefully will redo that. So I'm gonna get this thing fit in and get this piece kind of fit to the pan and see how we're looking. Well, we're getting this pan to fit around a little better. So this little corner in here was kind of a gap, and you can see like that line, and that line. That's where this bulge ran through, and I just kind of remarked it. So I bent it out and then re-bent and got that to fit a lot nicer there. And then this had a lip that was overlaying this, which is kind of keeping things from sitting flatter. So I got rid of that. This edge is fitting a lot better now. I'm still going to be filling it in, but this little lip that's inside of here, I got to trim it down a little bit, and I think this will sit down a little lower. It looks like my little groove here is lining up. I went ahead and kind of prepped all the edges and stuff to where when I do get it close, I might go ahead and do a couple of screws in it or something just to kind of see how it sucks down tight and what it's looking like. I don't think I'm gonna need quite as much of a filler for this though. I might just use a tiny bit of what I just made. So this all through here is looking good, but it just starts getting a little fat up through here. So it might just be a little sliver of that filler I used, but we'll see when everything gets sucked down. So same as the other side, I climbed underneath and traced this outer edge onto this panel. I don't know if you can kind of see that. But then, like right now, I'm going to go ahead and drill my holes for where I'm going to plug weld that in. And I can drill them along this line, just come in. I mean, you can tell I got quite a bit of meat along here. So as long as this outside line, if I come in, you know, 1/4 inch or something from that, I'll hit this the whole way. So I'll get that drilled. Then I can grind all this and prep it to where it's all cleaned up and ready to weld and everything. But yeah, that's just kind of how I prepped that part. All right, so I got all the little holes drilled for spot welds down both sides here. Both edges on the back where it's going to get welded in, that's all prepped. This thing's fitting pretty good. I may not need that filler piece. I made a mark here. I'm gonna try and work this lip out a little bit more, try and get some of that gap filled in, and I might just need to put a little piece in where they did their little butchery there. So I don't know, everything seems to be lining up and fitting well. And yeah, so far I think we're gonna succeed with this one. All right, this is I got a pretty decent little gap there. I'm not too worried about that now. So basically just that upper little fill piece there, I got to make that. And but yeah, you can see, I mean, I've had it out. Where did I start? Well, I started working this line from here, then this was looking good, then I made a mark, went up, and it's been 3, 4, 5 times that I've had this out, just kind of working that around and creeping up on it. And like I say, this stuff is mainly just patience, and if it doesn't look right and you don't like it, then probably it's a good time to mess with it and stuff. And I mean, it's metal, it molds around, it's pretty much clay. So yeah, just do your best with it, you know, and just keep trying, and that's what makes you a better sheet metal worker. Well, I kind of jumped the gun in making this piece, but it ends up I'm just going to use this last little top piece, and I've already got my little break in there and everything. So I'll just cut it out and fill in this little gap right here. And yeah, we're good. But I mean, I don't know, this is something that kind of started my day and it got me going. And yeah, I'm not using it, but it was a scrap piece of sheet metal. It was probably bound for the garbage can anyway, so at least it got some use. Well, I got that little piece trimmed to fit, so it's filling in the little gap right there. And yeah, this thing's about ready to screw down. I got to trim the piece behind this and get this little seam done, so that's sitting down flat where it needs to go. Get it all screwed down, and then yeah, this back lip here, I got to trim that out. It's right above the rust, so hopefully everything will trim out and it'll be thick enough metal there. If not, I might have to make a little lip across here or something, but it's looking like I'm not going to have to. So yeah, this is all spot drilled to get that tacked in, and then yeah, the last piece, phase 3, will be the center section. Well, I'm about prepared to get this screwed in, but this corner right here is missing a bunch of junk. So I took a piece of cardboard, made my little template here so I know this angle when I build that piece to ramp it up and hook it all in. So I still got to finish that, but I'm kind of out of time for the day. So I'll get this piece made and put in, and all the lip and everything for that spot weld. Then I can slide this over and start screwing everything down and seeing how it fits all nice and tight. But I'm pretty happy. Like I say, it kind of falls right into place now that I got it all tangled up in here. Hold on one second. But yeah, it just pretty much drops right in, and now my gaps are a lot better than they were. So there we go. So yeah, it's a nice, I don't know, maybe 1/8 inch gap around there. It's a little bit wide here and there, but way better than it was. I went ahead and just zapped that little piece in up there. So yeah, but it's the little lines for the body are lining up. So this one's really close, and actually was a lot less work than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, it took me a couple days to get back on this, but this is feeling pretty good. Like through the week, I'll probably just make that little piece. That's just a little hour project or something, you know. Do that, and then I'm ready for this center section. One thing that I would like to see while we are looking at this is if this center section is wide enough, and I'm hoping it's a little too wide. So, oh yeah, so I've got, it fits right in there. I've got plenty of meat on each side. It's probably, I don't know, my junk in here, but yeah, there's probably about 1 inch on each side of this thing, oversized. So that'll work out perfect. Yeah, so this center section should pretty much just be a slap in place and welder down the sides there. So I'm again probably going to do a little bit of a lap weld here and just crimp this so that it's a kind of can step over and be almost flush. But yeah, that'll be a nice solid joint. And then and once I get all this kind of fit and everything, I'll take it out one more time, and I'll just, like, because if everything's all done and it's looking good and everything's screwed down tight and everything, it's nice to get everything, go ahead and use your weld through primer and stuff. I had somebody comment about using weld through primer. Always use that. It seals up all your bare metal that we have. Once we weld this in, there's no way to really get in there and seal it. I am going to bed line probably top and bottom of this and stuff, so it'll help seal, but that's just another added thing. You can get it at Napa, your welding store, wherever. But yeah, so before, pretty much when I'm down to my last 1 or 2 maybe removals, I'll go ahead and get all that stuff done, because there might be a point where you get that screwed in, everything fits right, and you know, you can unscrew it and do that, but then sometimes things adjust a little bit. So it's kind of like if you get it all done and you're ready to go and you screw it in and it looks good, then you can just weld it. You don't got to pull it back out, prime everything, put it back in, you're ready to go. So when you start getting real close to having everything fit, go ahead and get everything prepped and sprayed and ready to go, because you might nail it and then you can just weld it in and you're done. So keep that in mind when you're doing this stuff. Like I say, it's just always keep a little bit of forward thought about what's going to happen down the road, and just kind of be ready for that scenario. So, but yeah, so this is it for tonight. We'll get updated on doing this little corner, and we'll fit this center section in. I might actually come out this week after work and do it. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll be back with more.